Samhain is possibly the biggest festival of the witches' year. It is a time to remember those who have passed on, celebrate the summer's end, and prepare for the winter months ahead. It is the third and final harvest and marks the end of summer. The dark winter half of the year is commencing. It is celebrated on October 31st or November 1st. It is one of the 2 spirit nights of the year. This is the magical interval when the mundane laws of time and space are temporarily suspended, and the thin veil between the worlds is lifted. Communicating with ancestors and departed loved ones is easy at this time, for they journey through this world on their way to the other world. It is also a time to study the dark mysteries and honor the Dark Mother and the Dark Father. Tradition also teaches that the help of spirits and guides from the other world was easily enlisted at this time. So in the increasing moonlight of longer nights, many used this time to hone their psychic and divinatory skills. Samhain was originally known as the Feast of the Dead, and it was celebrated by leaving food offerings on altars and doorsteps for the wandering dead. A lot of practitioners still carry out this tradition. Single candles were lit and left in a window to help guide the spirits of ancestors and loved ones home. Extra chairs were set to the table and around the hearth for the unseen guest. Apples were buried along roadsides and paths for spirits who were lost or had no descendants to provide for them. Turnips were hollowed out and carved to look like protective spirits. This was a night of magic and chaos. The fairy folk became active and pulled pranks. Traveling after dark was not advised. People dressed in white wore disguises made of straw, or dressed as the opposite gender in order to fool the nature spirit. Christianity adopted this day as All Saints' Day or All Hallows' Day, celebrating the eve as All Hallows' Eve or Halloween. The superstition and misconception linked to this celebration by the early church led people to take some unusual precautions to protect themselves. They adopted the tradition of dressing in frightening costumes or disguises, and displayed jack-o'-lanterns to help protect them from spirits they considered evil. Young people would disguise themselves with frightening masks and walk through the village, lighting their way with lanterns made from carved turnips. This was also the time that the cattle and other livestock were slaughtered for eating in the ensuing winter months. Any crops still in the field on Samhain were considered taboo and left as offerings to the nature spirits. Bonfires were built and stones were marked with people's names. Then they were thrown into the fire to be retrieved in the morning. The condition of the retrieved stone foretold of that person's fortune in the coming year. Hearth fires were lit from the village bonfire for unity, and the ashes were spread over the harvested fields to protect and bless the land. Samhain marks the new year. It is a time for letting go of the old and looking ahead to the new. It is also a time to pay your respects to departed loved ones, ancestors, and guides in the spirit world. The goddess manifests as the crone, and the god as the horned hunter and lord of death. Sacred colors are black and orange. It is the festival of endings and transformation. To celebrate Samhain, you can set up an altar in your home to honor departed loved ones and ancestors. If you already have such an altar, place offerings and light a candle there. As done in ancient times, set a place at your table for your spirit friends and relatives. and serve them some of the food and drink you share at your Samhain feast. Throw a party and have everyone dress up as they were in another life. Set lighted, carved pumpkins around your home to bless it. Magically make a resolution to break out of a negative habit pattern and begin a healthier way of being. Do divination on the year ahead. Thank you for watching my video. Please rate, share, and subscribe. And happy Samhain. Blessed be.